Kissing in the
Hey everyone,
rain.
so today I wanted to do a video about the things that I learned in 2015. It was a great year, but definitely filled with lots of experiences and situations that I really feel like have shaped me and are ultimately making me into the person that I want to be and a better person and just overall a more wise person. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in with what I have learned. The first one would be forgiveness is for you. And the way I look at this is I like to kind of end off the year forgiving everyone that has done anything bad to me or who has hurt me in any way. And that can be in relationships, friendships, my parents, my sisters, anything. And I think, in life, it's just a fact that people are going to hurt you, whether it's on purpose or not, it's going to happen. And the way that you deal with it really matters a lot. And I've realized that holding on to any hurt and anger only makes it worse, and it only really hurts you. And forgiving someone else doesn't necessarily mean that you're okay with what they did to you or that you're accepting that action or anything like that. But it's just giving yourself the peace to move on with your life and to not have that anger and that hurt inside of you. And I found that it really does make you a much happier person. Another thing I learned this year was to really appreciate the moment, to really live in the moment and just kind of take everything in for what it's worth. I do have a bad habit of kind of looking forward to the future and wanting to get older and wanting things to move faster. And this year especially, I really just took the time to kind of appreciate what was happening around me at that very minute and not thinking about what was going to happen tomorrow in a month or in a week or in a year, but really to just realize what was going on and to kind of just, make sure that I really accepted it and appreciated it and took it all in. So that was definitely something I really tried to do this year, and I'm definitely going to try to do next year even more. The third thing is to learn something from every person, every situation, every place. This is something I've kind of always been doing, but especially this past year, I've realized that every person you meet, good and bad, has something to offer you in some way or another, even if it's just as simple as a different way of thinking or a different point of view. And you don't always have to agree with things that people do or like the way that people act or the things that they do, but you can always learn something from them. And I've really tried to bring that into my life recently, and I've definitely met a lot of very interesting people that I think ultimately have probably shaped me into the person that I am today, for the good and the better. And I definitely try to do that. Every place I go or every situation I'm in, I just try to take something away from it, hopefully positive, and try to use that to become a more wise person. Number 4 is I have control over the direction of my life. Now, as a 20-year-old, it can be a little scary when people start talking about, life and what you want to be and what you aspire to do and all your dreams and aspirations. And I've realized that I do have control. If there's something that I want or there's something I want to pursue, it's in my hands to do it. I have to be the one to put in the effort, the hard work, to make the sacrifices and to get it done. And of course I've always known that, but I feel like it's definitely been something more this year that I've realized that I really need to kind of figure out, what it is that's my passion and that I love doing. And really, honestly, I think it's just helping you guys and talking about my personal struggles and my experiences and situations and reading the feedback from you guys saying I've helped you or I've inspired you or anything like that just makes me so incredibly happy. So I definitely hope that I can somehow use that further in my life. And like I said, I'm just realizing that I have the control and I just need to direct myself in whichever way I would like to go. Number 5 is learning to embrace my body, love myself, even my flaws. It's been interesting this past year. I feel like I've grown up a lot, mentally and stuff, and physically I don't feel like I've changed that much, but I've just kind of become a little bit more comfortable with myself. I've realized that there are, of course, things about myself that I don't love and that, maybe I would change if I could, but in the same regards, of all the people that I've met this year, the ones that really stand out to me are the ones that were confident in themselves, and, it's funny to see in other little people, little things that they maybe see as flaws, you maybe see as the things that make you love them and the things that make them so special and different and unique. And I feel like almost realizing that and seeing it in other people has made me kind of accept myself more, and it's definitely something I'm going to work on. I'll do a whole video about my New Year's resolutions and stuff because I still really want to strive to be in good health and to just be very strong and fit, and I want to work on that a lot. I've said previously, I've always kind of struggled with just being curvy and, having big boobs and big butts, just the way my body is built. But I'm definitely going to work on that and focus on it, but also accept that, I am unique and there's no one exactly like me, just like there's no one exactly like you, and that is what's special, and that's not what you should want to strive to change or to dislike about yourself. Number 6 is pretty simple. It's just nothing lasts forever. The good and the bad. I mainly am focusing this more on the bad because there have been times when I'm really upset or I just don't see a point to things or I'm feeling confused, and realizing that that time and those moments that are not great, they don't last forever. You know, you'll get out of that and things will become better and things will start to fall into place and make sense. You just got to get through it. And the same, you know, with really great things. You know, you have to be very appreciative and grateful when things are amazing and wonderful, because nothing does last forever, you know, it's just kind of the fact of life. And I feel like more this year, more than ever, I've really realized that. And again, it kind of ties in with just living in the moment and appreciating things and just becoming aware of things and just really focusing in on that. Number 7 is true friends are hard to find and easy to keep. This is very true for me. I am the type of person, I think I'm more of a quality over quantity person. I love having a few really close friends that are all very different, very special to me, and that have all just been there for me through many different times. And I realized that in my life, you know, I'm traveling, I'm gone a lot. It's not always the easiest for me to be with my friends 24/7, to just always hang out with them. But when I do, it's like nothing has ever changed. And to me, that's kind of the sign of like a true good friend that really gets you. They understand that you have a life and that you're trying to pursue things and do different things, and your friendship is still important even if you can't be together all the time. And I've realized that, you know, through different years and different situations, like my true good friends have remained my good friends because they're good people and because, you know, we work together really well, and those bonds that you have are special, and it's very, very hard to break those, and I hope I never do. And I've just realized to really, I don't know, appreciate my friends and realize how much they've always been there for me and how much our friendship has grown, but at the same time it's stayed the same through so many different changes, and I think that's really amazing and very special. Number 8 is don't give up, because sometimes the most amazing things happen right when you're almost like at the end of your line, and I've seen this happen many times this year and just in the past, but mainly this year. You know, when I would start a project or I'd start doing something, or, you know, even in a relationship or whatever, right when you're kind of getting to that point of just wanting to give up, if you just push a little further, push a little harder, put in a little bit more effort, I think it's amazing how much things can turn around and how drastically things can change, kind of right at that very pivotal moment of like almost seeming like there's no hope. And hopefully that makes sense. And I just want you guys to just don't give up, you know, whether it be on a dream or a person or whatever it is, just try to put in that last bit of effort, because I think you'll be very surprised on what happens. Number 9 is super important to me, and I learned this year to just be kind even in the midst of anger or hurt. I think a lot of people's kind of first reaction when they're hurt or angry with someone is to lash out and be mean and hurtful and to kind of, you know, hurt the other person the way they hurt you. And I've realized this year that that just doesn't help. It doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't do anything positive. But what really helps me is remaining kind and showing that person grace and love and acceptance. And I think it's pretty insane how much that can transform a situation or a person. I know I've definitely had people that have apologized to me this year that said, you know, it was amazing how you never got angry at me. You were never mean to me. You never said hurtful things to me, even when I did all of that to you. And I explained to them that that's because being kind makes me feel so much better, because I know that they will have to sit there and think about it, and they'll think about the way that I treated them and the way that they treated me. And I've been on the other side of it before, and I know that it makes you feel so bad when you're mean to someone. And when someone else offers you that kindness, it kind of opens you up to that idea that like you can be kind, you can choose to be kind, and you can choose to be loving and forgiving to people, and ultimately it makes you feel so much better. And number 10, something I've learned this year, is that somehow things always work out. I think regardless of your religion or whatever you believe in, I know that, you know, somehow things all come together and everything ends up being okay. And I'm very grateful for that. And I'm always very just mindful of that maybe things aren't amazing at the moment, but I know eventually things will make sense and it all comes together and it works out. And on the ending note, I do want to mention my friend Ben Breedlove, who, as you guys may know, passed away on Christmas a few years ago, and he really taught me something very interesting, that just to, when you look at yourself in the mirror, to be proud of yourself and to feel like you are being the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. and that you are being kind, and that you just ultimately feel good about yourself. I think in this world that we live in, so many people are wrapped up with what other people think about them, with their reputation, what they're thought of as, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, what matters is if you love yourself and if you like yourself. And I think if you look at yourself from a different point of view, would you want to be your own friend? And that's just kind of, again, the most important thing that I've learned. And I learned that a few years ago, and when he passed away, you know, in his video he mentioned that, and it really stuck with me, and I've kept it in my heart and in my mind for many years. And I think this year especially, I really just kind of looked back to that, because ultimately I want to be a more kind, a more thoughtful, loving person, and through all my different situations and experiences, I'm having growth and I'm becoming that person, and that's what makes me really happy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys have an amazing New Year's Eve. Be very safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.